All right, good morning, students. Looking at some tree diagrams to start out with. Um, Tree diagrams, often you'll have saw things like this, and this is an example of flipping a coin, which is heads or tails, and then rolling a dice, which has options 1 through 6. So you have your heads or tail options, and then you have H1, H2, so on and so forth. So a tree diagram lays out all of your possible incomes. It's used to illustrate compound probability. It shows all possible outcomes, and that set of outcomes is called your sample space. Okay, so that's how those words will go together. Your sample space is all the possible outcomes. Tree diagrams show those outcomes, and tree diagrams is just one way to do it. There's many different ways to do it. You could just list it out as well. We have a quick description here, tree diagram examples. Flipping a coin twice. We have heads, tails on the first flip, heads, tails on the second flip. So our options are heads, 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 tails, tails, heads, and tails, tails. Therefore, that's our sample space. Now, I want you to notice sample space. S equals, put those brackets. All sample spaces need to be listed using those brackets to open and close your sample space. You then can answer questions. What are the odds of getting heads, heads? It's 1 out of our total of 4. Okay, that leaves all of our provided options. What are the odds of getting a heads or tails? Order does not matter unless specified, and that's with a lot of these questions. The order does not matter, heads, tails, or tails, heads, unless it specifically says. So you have two options, 2 out of 4, which simplifies to 1/2. I'm gonna just walk through the question, the document here real quick, and I apologize about the screen, but it gives you the heads tails scenario right there. A couple probability questions. His family has 2 children, so you have boy and girl, and then branching off of that, boy and girl. It's very similar to the coin question. Tree diagrams with pizza. Your first option is regular, thin, deep. So you're going to have, in a sense, regular, thin, deep, and then branching off of that, each of the toppings. It'll list how many possible outcomes there are. And you can do that for question 2 as well. And then it actually does give you a nice little ice cream scenario and questions that you can ask based off of that. So this is a quick intro to tree diagrams and a possible way to list out all of the options. In case just thinking about them comes to be a little bit more confusing. So hopefully this helps.